Deeply dip about the curve you got. Deeply.
Hiya, welcome to the channel or welcome back. We are here in the C1 and this video is going to be for the C1 107 and Aygo, possibly 108 owners, and it's about, well, have you ever noticed when you're driving your CityBug, right, and it's just not got the exhilarating net snapping performance as what you used to? It could be something really simple. Now if we look down here, there is the pedals required to drive the automobile, and one of them is the go pedal, and if we look, we have got that much movement, but it doesn't do anything. And that is because this car has a throttle cable, quite old-fashioned by a lot of respects, but it has a throttle cable, and throttle cables, I say stretch, it's not that they stretch, it's more that the outer compresses over time, but they effectively stretch, so they can end up baggy. So this video, I'm going to adjust that. If we look at that, like I say, focus, we've got that much, and then it starts to work. This one's a bit baggy. Also, this is pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to go and see if there's any fuel. But I'm going to add to the problem. I'm going to fill up some jerry cans. I'm probably going to get punched because I'm filling up jerry cans and people frowned upon that. But I'm not actually filling them up for a car. I work in a bike shop and we need some petrol. So I'm going to get some petroleums for that. Anyway, I'm going to do that and then I will adjust this throttle cable. Right, so to start off with, we're going to have to pull the bonnet catch. And then we need some tools and objects that commonly reside in the footwell of any self-respecting Citroen C1 owner's car. And these are the tools that we're going to need. And you might be asking why the bottle. Well, you'll see why in a sec. Right, so we shall lift this bonnet up. And then when we look down here, you can see that we have our cable. And it's a bit baggy. This is the reason for the lack of power and performance. I'll just go and demonstrate just how baggy it actually is. And this is where the bottle comes in. So we've moved around to the pedals, and this is the bottle which was mentioned a minute ago. If you look, Coke bottle, Dr Pepper bottle, any bottle, as long as it's not Coke Zero or Pepsi Max, they won't fit because the Zero shit's just horrible. But now the pedal is pushed right down to the floor and it's wedged in that. It also works as a warm-up tool. You know, on a cold morning you can warm your car up fast with that. But we've got our pedal wedged up, and I'll just show you what the problem actually is. Right, so our pedal, our rev pedal is on the floor. You know, giving it full bore, trying to go as fast as you can, but check this out, look. So that, whoa, wah, whoa. So that's how much we're missing out on. We're missing out on the wah. So now we need to adjust this cable up. And this is where these tools come into effect. 12mm spanners on them two nuts there to start with. This is going to go well, innit? Because I need two hands really, but fuck it, I'll do it with one. Left-handed as well. I'm not actually left-handed. So start by undoing that a little bit. Now we need to turn that one. And if your car's anything like mine, then you might find that that's a bit too tight, that, but you might find that you need to clamp the cable still, because this nut on the back is all seized up and it's still spinning. Well, still spinning. Anyway, the direction that you want to go is these two nuts I need to move this way. So I'm pulling the cable through. You know, if you can picture, let me just show this now. I want to pull this all the way through, and the bottle's falling out now as well. Look at it. No, it's not. No, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, I want to pull that all the way through, and basically it wants to be more like that. So I want to move it quite a lot. Anyway, we'll clamp this, and I'll have to undo this one because for some reason that nut is very tight on this cable. So now we're clamped up and ready to go. And I've just got to do this quite a lot of times. Now, I could use some editing skills and I could just film all this and speed it up. I'm not going to bother, I'm just going to come back when I've done it. Which is now. So to know that you've adjusted the right amount, right, we don't want it too tight because one, it might not settle back to tick over. That's if you do it excessively too tight. Then the other thing is you don't want it so that you can push the pedal down to the floor, right, and then the pedal, even when it's down at the floor, you don't want it to run out of travel before it hits the floor because you're pushing it quite hard with your foot, and that's how you snap cables. It is one method of snapping cables if you over adjust it. So I've done it this way, which now, let's get it to focus on what we're doing, there we go. The pedal is now still at the floor, right, and that is how much we didn't have a throttle because I haven't moved this nut, I've only moved the back one. And if I pull the nut one there, if I pull that to there, it just starts to get to the end of travel of the cable as I pull it to there. So now I can feel that it's at the end of travel there, so it's pulling it all the way open. So now just lock that off. And to do that, the nut which is on the outside, I'm going to tighten up against this nut. So this one I'm going to wind all the way up to there. I'm good at winding stuff up, so I'll get on with it. And then just make sure that this is sat in all the way, and take a spanner to that and just nip it up. Like, well, you can't see what I'm doing anyway, but yeah, I'm going to tighten that nut up with a spanner. And that should now be adjusted nicely. Let's just make sure it does settle back down to tick over. I can't see why it wouldn't do. This isn't just the only way of doing this. I mean, you can set it at tick over and just take the slack out of the cable. But if you do that, you could end up with it where it's too tight and you're stretching the cable when it's at full throttle. So when you're stamping on that pedal, let's just make sure that it ticks over and everything. Removal of the throttle bottle and give the engine some startings. It all seems very nice. Now we have 100% functionality. All the BHPs are there now, all of them. Check it for a driver, so it goes. And as you can see, we've still got a tiny bit of play, but negligible. So it's not over tight, but we've got the response that's required. And to make the car significantly more faster, as I will now demonstrate. And as you can clearly see, that has a massive positive influence on the drivability of this vehicle. Anyway, that is all for this one. So don't forget to comment and what have you, all the usual sort of shit. Subscribe, blah blah. And I'm going to put up some stickers that I've sent out to people and they've put on the car, and I'm going to put the pictures up now. And some have gone as far away as like Scotland, which is another country.
Why you think they call me Mr. Worldwide?
Anyway, if you want a sticker, you can ask me on Instagram or the Facebook page or whatever. I ain't got any at the moment, so it might not be successful, but when I have got some, I'll send one out, you know, within reason. Anyway, I'll see you next time.